All right. Next fundamental prospecting technique is that rapport always comes first. Always. You can't close someone that doesn't like you. You can't turn someone into a lead or an appointment if they don't like you, if they don't trust you. So rapport always comes first. If you want to ruin rapport, argue with someone, disagree with someone, try to close them too soon. Rapport always comes first. And I'm going to go over a couple of fundamental um, approaches that you can use to help build rapport. And we're going to cover some of these fundamental approaches in depth in future videos. But for now, I want to go over a couple of those fundamental approaches and give you like a 30,000 foot view of these things. So number one, um, you need to let someone know that if they resist you, that's fine, that it's an option to resist you. You need to give them permission to say no. Give them permission to say that they don't need something. I go so far on some calls as to present my service, and then I say, "Do you have everything handled?" And they go, "Yeah, I have everything handled." So I've given them permission to reject or turn down what I've just offered. I don't want you just blindly going in and doing this until you've developed a little bit of skill and understood it a little bit more. But if you're going to build rapport, people need to understand that they can say no. If you present a service to them and then present it in a way that they can't say no, their natural reaction and tendency is going to be to resist you and hold you off. So it's okay if they say no, and they need to know that when you have either opened the call or presented a service. Um, what I want to do is I want to try to turn no, I don't need that into yes, I don't need that. Okay. The idea here is we want to take the venom out of their rejection. Okay. Think of it like a snake bite. Okay. You've got poisonous snakes and venomous snakes and non-venomous snakes. So poisonous, not poisonous. If a snake that's not poisonous bites you, you're fine. If a snake that's poisonous bites you, you're in trouble. Okay. So we want to make sure that when they reject us, there's not a venomous bite to it. So if I were to call someone in probate, let's pretend that it's let's say it's circle prospecting. I call someone in circle prospecting and I say, "Hey, are you the owner of 123 Main Street?" And they say yes. And I say, "Hey, have you ever considered selling your house?" And they say, "No, I don't want to sell." That's venomous. No. My position is you want to sell. Their position is no. And we oppose one another. But if I were to say, should I assume that you probably don't want to sell, which is not the best way to ask that question, but let's just go with it for a minute. Should I assume that you don't want to sell? Now they say, yes, I don't want to sell. And we are together. We're in agreement. Okay, so sometimes we want to give someone that permission and that ability to say that they don't want what we just offered, but turn it into a yes, I don't want that instead of a no, I don't want that. I hope that makes sense. We are pulling the venom out of their resistance. Okay. Um, Next technique in building rapport is never, ever, 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 ever disagree with the prospect, especially not at the time that they've resisted you. Okay. You can always correct them and disagree later, but not at the time they resisted you. One of the things I hear all the time when I see people prospecting is they'll say something like, "Hey, have you thought about selling your house?" And the person says, "No." And we go, "But I could get you top dollar." And that just makes them resist you even more. They go, "Like I told you, no, I don't want to sell. Are you sure about that? Because I could bring you a good cash offer." And they go, "No, I told you, I'm not going to sell." You're disagreeing with them and you're making them dislike you and distrust you more and more and more. Instead, agree with them. Always agree. "Oh, that's amazing. It sounds like you guys love your house." That's right. We do love our house. So that's a way to get in line with them and make them like you more. They don't feel like they have to fight you if you are in agreement with them. The more you can agree with someone, the less they're going to fight, the less they're going to resist. So that's a prospecting technique of building rapport number two there. Um, the next thing that you want to use when you are building rapport is you want to use active listening techniques. And we are going to go over this in so much detail in future lessons. But active listening, if you are not sure what active listening is, pause the video, or after this video, go look up active listening and read about it a little bit. I'll give you some basics. Basics are things like repeating back a little bit of what someone said. There's a couple of different names for this and a couple of different styles of doing it, but repeating back what someone said. If your significant other said, "I'm so tired today," you go, "I'm sorry you're tired." Okay. You don't go, okay. You don't say, "Wake up." You go, "Oh, I'm sorry you're tired." If you're out in the grocery store getting groceries and someone says, "It's cold here," you go, "Yeah, it's cold." Okay. You repeat back what someone said. That's an active listening technique. If you incorporate active listening, where instead of just hearing what they said and staying quiet, if you active listening is hearing what they said and giving them feedback. Hear what they said, give feedback, not long feedback. Don't go into a tirade, don't go into a pitch, anything like that. But hear what they said, give feedback, acknowledge, repeat what they've said. That's going to help you build a lot of rapport, and people won't even notice that they're starting to like you more. But little by little by little, they're going to start to like you. They're going to start to trust you. They're going to start to have some rapport with you. So, rapport comes first. That's the prospecting principle that we covered here. As a recap, the different ways that you can do that. Number one, let them know that resisting you and saying no is an option. Okay. Number two, take the venom out of their answer by getting them to say, yes, we are going to resist what you have, instead of no, we're going to resist you. Yes, we resist you. No, we resist you. Okay. Third, or fourth, never disagree with the prospect. Always agree. And fifth, use active listening techniques by hearing what they say and giving them some verbal feedback, acknowledgement. It could be a word, it could be a sentence, it could be two sentences. Don't let it be any longer than that. But quick little acknowledgement or repeating back what they've said, and you're going to be well on your path to building rapport and keeping conversations going longer as well.